The Lupus Foundation of America estimates that there are currently 1.5 million people in the U.S. that are living with lupus, and roughly 16,000 cases are diagnosed every year. Lupus is a chronic autoimmune disease that causes the immune system to attack its own body tissue and organs. Lupus doesn't discriminate when it comes to age, ethnicity, income, or even celebrity status. Here are 10 public figures who are currently living with lupus.
It's more common than people do know. It's a wonderful organization that raises awareness and raises money by doing the Bag Ladies Luncheon.
Paula Abdul has been one of the most active celebrities in the lupus community. Paula credits her doctor with keeping her disease manageable, and she's also talked about living with pain that lupus brings. Paula has used social media as a way to spread the word about lupus, and is often found on the red carpet at lupus events. She told Parade magazine, "When I was diagnosed, I was like, oh my God, it's finally caught up with me," referring to her, dance career. "But I don't let this slow me down. I have a lot more living in me and a lot more performing that I want to do. I definitely needed to work through my diagnosis mentally."
I always consider myself in good shape and working out all the time, so you never would think that I would have a health issue. So it just kind of came out of nowhere. But that's kind of even why I'm here today. Is like everyone should be aware of their body and putting the right things into their body and taking care of themselves.
Multi-talented entertainer Nick Cannon was hospitalized with kidney failure in early 2012, and shortly thereafter he was back in the hospital for blood clots in his lungs. That spring, Cannon announced he had lupus nephritis, which is an inflammation of the kidneys associated with systemic lupus. He created the YouTube series Incredible Health Hustle, which documented his own experience with the disease. He said, "At first, it was super scary just because you don't know. You've never heard of lupus." He said in an interview with HuffPost Live, "I knew nothing about it until I was diagnosed. But to me, I'm healthier now than ever before." He believes that once you recognize that lupus is a livable condition, it's then possible to overcome it with certain lifestyle changes and maintain a strong support system. He maintains a busy schedule, but lives a healthy lifestyle to minimize the flare-ups that often come with lupus. Nick just celebrated his 10-year anniversary with lupus.
My mother told me the other day that my fans were quite worried about me because I did talk about the fact that I was tested for lupus. And the truth is I don't show any symptoms of lupus, but I have tested borderline positive for the disease.
No two cases of lupus are the same. In 2010, Lady Gaga had heart palpitations and trouble sleeping, which led her to seek medical help. Eventually, she was told that she was borderline positive for lupus. The experience was scary because Gaga has an aunt who had lupus and died young because of it. Luckily, for now, Gaga says she does not have any active symptoms. She admitted she takes very good care of herself, which is strongly recommended by medical experts for managing lupus. Although there is a higher risk for developing the disease when a relative has it, it's still possible for the disease to lie dormant for many, many years, possibly even the length of a person's lifetime.
As many of you know, I was diagnosed, or might not know, I was diagnosed with lupus. I've been speaking out about my situation to raise awareness of the disease so people see a doctor right away if they feel like they have any symptoms.
In 2015, Selena shared that she had to take a break from touring in order to receive chemotherapy treatment for lupus. 2 years later, she took to Instagram after a period of silence to let her fans know that she had undergone a lupus-related kidney transplant. In an Instagram post about the surgery, she thanked her family, friends, and doctors, as well as her close friend, who had donated a kidney to her. Selena continues to undergo treatment, but has adjusted her public life to cope with depression, anxiety, and panic attacks, which are common in people with lupus. The Velvet Tone singer has spoken candidly about the form of lupus he developed when he was a teen, called discoid lupus, which caused the scars on his face. Discoid lupus, named after the shape of the lesions, causes severe inflammation, particularly in areas that are exposed to the sun. It can also cause hair loss. Although Seal says he has been in remission for years, he still works to support lupus research and awareness, performing at various fundraising events. He's not as outspoken about lupus as other celebrities that are living with the disease, but he often talks about how his art and music are a means through which he channels his pain and suffering. He once said, "I believe that in all forms of art, there has to have been some initial adversity. That is what makes art, as far as I'm concerned. And it's not something you outlive. Once you experience it, it's always with you."
So I was diagnosed with autoimmune 6 years ago.
Okay.
But my doctor didn't tell me I had lupus. And I was having a colonoscopy, which everyone should get.
Right.
And I saw my chart, lupus, and I was like, oh, this is not my chart. And they're like, you have lupus.
They didn't tell you you had it, and it was on your chart.
Yeah, so my doctor had forgotten to tell me. Like, he told me about the other conditions. I have Sjogren's syndrome.
That frightens me so much.
But once I found out, I was able to make really big changes in my life.
Last year, talk show host Carrie Ann Inaba announced that she's taking a leave of absence from the talk to work on improving her health, a major concern for her as she manages multiple chronic illnesses. She lives with several autoimmune diseases, including lupus, Sjogren's syndrome, fibromyalgia, as well as rheumatoid arthritis. She said, "For many years now, my life has been full of ups and downs, and lots of hard work to help me to feel my best, to land at a new normal that's comfortable and sustainable." She told People magazine, "For years, I tried to fight the fatigue. I tried to push through the pain, and I tried to ignore the discomfort. But eventually, it becomes too much to ignore." She had to accept that her health wasn't something she could fight and put off. She added that she had to come to terms with her new reality, which is, "I am a sick person, a person with limitations." Not to be defeated by her diagnosis, she added, "I am grateful. There's a blessing in some of these health conditions because it gives you a greater awareness of your own health. It makes you take care of yourself."
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jane, Jeff, John, and Whitney for being such great hosts. For me and my family, we've been waiting for a long time for this call, and that day has come.
Hall of Famer, Oakland Athletic outfielder, one of baseball's top base stealers and leadoff batters over a 20-year career, is also suffering with lupus. Raines became bloated mysteriously and gained 15 pounds near the All-Star break back in 1999. Complaining of extreme fatigue and water retention, professional baseball player Tim Raines stepped off the field and into a doctor's office. They did a kidney biopsy. He was diagnosed with lupus. He also learned that the disease was attacking his kidneys. The left fielder underwent radiation therapy and medication until his condition improved. He bravely returned to the game in 2001, playing for the Montreal Expo, before retiring in 2002 with the Florida Marlins.
My particular type of lupus, it loves my heart, meaning it affects it often. I get pericarditis often, I get viruses of the heart, I get microvascular angina.
Yeah.
Some people say angina.
Women are much more likely than men to develop lupus. According to 90% of cases, women of color particularly are the most likely group to have the disease. Grammy Award winner and hitmaker Toni Braxton was diagnosed in 2008. In the midst of her Vegas residency, Toni Braxton found herself dealing with some unknown health issues. After suffering a heart attack, the performer eventually received a lupus diagnosis. The news hit her hard. Braxton admits that getting to a place of accepting life with a chronic health condition was a journey. When asked how she's able to balance it all during an interview with HuffPost Live, this is what she had to say.
You know, some days I can't balance it at all. I just have to lay in bed. Pretty much when you have lupus, you feel like you have the flu every day. But some days you get through it.
She has also become an activist, helping to coordinate an effort called the Hollywood Bag Lady Luncheon, which auctions handbags to raise money for lupus research and awareness. She told Parade magazine, "My journey with lupus has taught me that it is okay not to have a good day because you get so stuck. And that doesn't mean you're not being positive. It's just that you're paying attention to your body. It's like when you're on the airplane, they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first, and you can help others. I have to pay attention to myself and help myself stay as healthy as I can so that I can be a better mom, a better parent, and a better sister. That's the most important thing my diagnosis has done for me at this stage."
I have means, I have the best health care, I have a great health insurance. I live in New York and LA and the best doctors and Mayo Clinic, and they couldn't figure it out. And that's what made me think. I was like, well, how is the rest of the world gonna?
The actress, who won 2 Emmys on Third Rock from the Sun, shared the news in a post on her Facebook page. "I've been really, really sick. Full body, muscle weakness to the extent that just walking was difficult. Stairs were impossible. I even needed a neck brace to hold my head up. Lying down, I'm fine, which is great for writing or killing time on social media. But it's kind of disastrous when you're in a sitcom that requires a ton of physical comedy." Diagnosed at age 46 with lupus myelitis, a rare form of lupus affecting the spinal cord, the comedic actress first showed sign of lupus when struggling to climb a flight of stairs. After 17 different doctor's visits and months of painful tests, Johnston's final diagnosis allowed her to receive treatment with chemotherapy and steroids. She achieved remission 6 months later. She told People magazine, "Every single day is a gift, and I don't take 1 second of it for granted."
I wanted to play soccer. Was I going to let this stop me? I didn't want it to, but I also was very aware, like everybody that has lupus has it in a very different way. I look and seem normal. I'm playing at a high level. I could see people being like, "Lupus, what's that?" Like, oh, it must not be that bad.
This gold medal winning American Olympic soccer player was diagnosed with lupus at age 30 while playing in the U.S. national team. During this time, she began showing repeated symptoms of fatigue, joint pain, and muscle soreness. She made her diagnosis public in 2012 and began working with the Lupus Foundation of America to spread awareness about the disease. The medicine she currently takes helps her to control the number of potential flare-ups, as well as the amount of inflammation in her body. Her advice to other people living with lupus: I believe it's important to have a support system, friends, family, the Lupus Foundation, that understand what you're going through. I also believe it's important to stay active, whatever level of activity feels comfortable for you. I hope this is where I've inspired people. I haven't let this disease stop me from doing the sport that I love. The prognosis for lupus is better today than ever before. With close follow-up and treatment, 80 to 90% of lupus patients with non-organ threatening symptoms can expect to live a normal life.